The first-person shooter genre is a very popular genre, especially with online gaming, with games like Call of Duty or even Halo. I played a lot of Halo 3 back when it came out in the Xbox 360 days. FPS games have always been fun and will continue to be really fun for years to come because they keep making good stuff and it's just fun to play against your friends and others online. The first-person shooter genre really kicked off in the 90s with games like Doom and Wolfenstein, and the PS1 has some good games that people definitely either know about or don't even talk about. There's 7 games here in this video that I'm going to talk about and just go over of games that you should definitely try out or play or own even on the console. With that being said, some of these are actually on new hardware, so if you want to play them, you don't have to go out and buy a PS1 or PS2, you can play them on your PS5, Switch, or Xbox One. Without further ado, let's go over the 7 FPS games that I chose for the PS1 that are worth playing today. Number 1. You probably expected this game to be on the list. It's a very obvious choice, but Final Doom. It was released in 1996 for the PS1 and PC as well. Doom obviously doesn't need an introduction. Everyone knows Doom. Doom's very fun. All the Doom games are cool, especially the new one that came out on the PS4 and Doom Eternal. This one is the 3rd entry in the series, and it's just as every bit of fun as the first 2 games. The PC version without a doubt is probably the better way to go, but on console, the PS1 was the only way to play it at the beginning. This game is pretty affordable on the PS1, so without a doubt, definitely not a problem to play this one. There's roughly around 30 levels in the entire game, so you got plenty of gameplay here with different levels, as well as good challenge too. Not too hard, but you know, of course you can adjust the difficulty and all that stuff. You can even play the game with the PlayStation mouse, which is very interesting, so if you want to play it that way, the option's always available. If you like shooting with big guns, killing demons and stuff like that, Final Doom's definitely a game you gotta check out any way possible. Number 2. Medal of Honor series is also a series that doesn't need much of an introduction like Doom. Medal of Honor Underground was a game on the PS1 in 2000, made by DreamWorks Interactive and published by EA. Now, looking at this game, you're probably already thinking, Medal of Honor is just an old game series. Well, don't be fooled, the game here is really quite good. I did play this for a little while, and the controls feel great, and it doesn't feel bad at all to play. It's just like the other Medal of Honor games, where you have a bunch of objectives you have to do, you have to get through the levels, shoot a bunch of bad guys, get items sometime, and escort them to where they need to go. Medal of Honor Underground sold pretty well, so you shouldn't have any problem finding this game at your game store, or heck, even Goodwill. That's how I found it years ago. If you're looking for a cheap game for the PS1 that you want to collect or own or play, and you want to play a first-person shooter that's actually pretty decent, definitely check out Medal of Honor Underground. This is a good one.
I'll start the truck. You open the gate.
Number 3. Star Wars literally can have any kind of game they want because they have so much source material to work with. Star Wars Dark Forces was a first-person shooter that came out in 95 on the PC and 96 on the PS1. You play as a new character called Kyle Katarn, and it takes place somewhere around before Episode 4. LucasArts definitely took notes though from Doom because this game plays a lot like that, but it's actually pretty good. When you kill enemies, you get up a bunch of energy upgrades, just like you would in any other first-person shooter with like bullets and such. This game did so well, they decided to make a sequel called Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, and it started the Jedi Knight series, which eventually went to Xbox, and now it's on modern consoles. And another thing too, you can play this game on modern systems. So you don't have to go back and play the PS1 version. It's probably better to get it on modern console because there's no frame rate issues at all like the PS1 game does. Still playable, still fun, but I definitely recommend playing this on new software. But Star Wars Dark Forces, if you like FPS games and love Star Wars, well, you already know. Check this one out.
Surrender immediately.
Number 4. Disruptor came out in 1996 for the PS1, and it was developed by Insomniac. This was Insomniac's very first game they ever made. So after this, they actually went on to make the Spyro the Dragon games. On the surface, it definitely looks like a Doom clone, but seriously, this game is really good. It takes place in the future and you fight like robots and stuff, but you have this other ability called like a psionic, and you hit the square button and you'll shoot electricity and stuff from your mind. It's pretty cool whenever you don't have any ammo and you got some of that. There's live action cutscenes in between levels, and man, you can definitely tell this is a 90s game, because boy, these cutscenes are laughable. Unfortunately, playing this game is not very easy. It's only on the PS1, and it goes for around like 40 to 50 bucks complete. That's not terrible, but it's a little steep for most people. I've beaten this game before, and it's definitely a good time, so if you like FPS games, you're gonna have to get this one, because this one's a good one, and you can see where Insomniac started. Number 5. Alien Trilogy, brought to us by Acclaim, came out in 1996 for the PS1, as well as it's on the Sega Saturn. Geez, there's a lot of games that came out in 1996 that are first-person shooters. I guess that was just a big year for FPS games. This game is based on the 3 Alien films. There's about 30 levels, and there's 3 Queen Alien bosses too throughout the game. This one's definitely cool because it's got a dark tone to it as you play the game, and yeah, I apologize if it's kind of dark to see this gameplay footage. That's just how this game is, unfortunately. The shooting in this one just felt pretty good though, especially when you kill all the aliens that you come across, and you can't step on them or you'll get hurt. Similar to Disruptor, this game is stuck in its console generation. Like Final Doom, it's around the $30 range if you want to own this game physically, but this one's really cool. I would definitely recommend this one, especially if you like the Alien movies. You'll really get into this one, and if you like Doom too. Alien Trilogy, check this one out any way possible. Number 6. Life Force Tenka, or Codename Tenka in the US, came out in 1997 for the PS1. In this one, you can actually see that your character is a 3D model, not a 2D image like it is in Disruptor or Final Doom, but this game plays pretty good. The controls do take getting used to. They're a little different than the other games, like you have to use L1 and L2 to adjust your viewpoint up and down, but once you master that, this game can actually be kind of fun. This one for sure has a futuristic setting, and I didn't play it for too long on this. I actually never heard of this game until recently, but this game definitely has a cool vibe to it that I do enjoy. Codename Tenka is stuck only on the PS1 and PC back from 1997, so if you want to play this game, it's about a $20 game, which is not too bad. I would definitely buy this one. Maybe if I find it at the Game Storm sometime soon, I'll buy it and I'll play through it. If you've played your Dooms and stuff like that to death and you're wanting something else to play, this is definitely a good alternative. I'd try this one out for sure. Number 7. Powerslave was released in 1996 on the Sega Saturn, and then we got it on the PS1 in 97. This one's for sure the most interesting one on this list because it takes place in Egypt, which is a totally different setting than everything we've talked about on this video so far, and this game kind of functions like a Metroidvania. You have an overworld in this game, and you can go between levels because you'll have to get items and such to go to certain areas and unlock different places you couldn't go to before. The game itself feels great when you play it, and the frame rate even on the PS1 is actually pretty decent. Thankfully, to play this game, you don't have to get it on the PS1 or the Sega Saturn, which I wouldn't recommend it. It goes for hundreds of bucks on the Saturn and kind of pricey on the PS1. But you can get this on new hardware. It was released a couple years ago. There's a remaster for this game, so you can play this on the Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation. If you're going to definitely try one of the games on this list, let Powerslave be the one. It's definitely unique, it has that Egyptian setting, and overall, it's just a pretty good game to check out. And there you have it. Those are 7 FPS games for the PS1 that I definitely recommend, and if you haven't seen these games before, well, definitely check them out, because they're definitely worth playing. I know this isn't the greatest list of all time or nothing like that for first-person shooters. This is my personal list. There's definitely others that I didn't include, like Quake and such, and those are good as well. these were games that just kind of piqued my interest a little bit, so just know that if there's a game that you didn't see on this list, well, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear your suggestions. As always, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to give it a like. If you got something to say, leave a comment down below. And of course, if you want to see more content like this in the future, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.